This sleek machine behind me is Sunseeker's Predator 65. That is quite a cool looking boat, isn't it? Now this is very much your sports cruiser style with a massive opening roof. We'll see that a lot more when we go on board. But it's designed to be the performance looking boat compared to the sort of flybridge like we're on here. As ever, it depends what you want, but these really are very popular, particularly in the Med, because you've got a lot of day space. Got a garage on this one, which I'll show you. It's just a really good, fun, well-detailed boat, but also, because it is ultimately a 65-foot boat, really good accommodation too. So we'll step down here, take a look at it from here. Cool looking machine, isn't it? And then we'll go and have a look on board. Now, this is a drop platform here. I think you can put a jet ski on here if you want to, but actually the big news here is the garage, and I want to show you inside this garage because it's got a rather unique feature. So what we're going to do is head up here and we are going to prod on this little panel, enable and open, and up she rises. There we go. Now this will take a Williams Sportjet 345. There's one in here, as you can see. You've got rollers here, and there's rollers then that go, you can see these chaps down here that go onto the bathing platform lowers, and the whole thing just rolls back out into the water. And look at these steps, the way they're formed coming up the side here. That's really smart. That's on both sides. But the thing that I wanted to particularly talk to you about is the fact this has got a completely flat floor. Most of these garages have got a V to take the tender. They've not done that with this. They've just kept it completely flat, and what that means is you can put things like paddle boards or bikes or whatever else you want to in here and just wander in and out at will. You're not trying to sort of negotiate a sloping floor that's sliding you down underneath the rib. It makes that a much more usable area. This is interesting. This fellow here goes into a socket. If you imagine that upright that way, what happens is that as this drops down into the water, it reveals steps that go down into the water. You drop that into one of these, I think it's into one of these sockets here, or there might be a socket that it reveals, and that gives you like a swimming pool style handle as you're going in and out. It just makes life a lot easier. And then beyond that, we've got a shower built in up here. We've got lighting built in as well. It just turns this into a really nice beach club area. You launch your tender, you could put a couple of chairs in here if you want to. As I say, you can have paddle boards and things. It just makes for a great fun space right down at water level. I think that's excellent. Passerelle extends out of here. That's what that little letterbox flap is for. So that's a stern to boarding. It's basically like a sort of a gangplank almost, I suppose. The best way to describe it. It's a bit posher than that, obviously, but got a handrail and so forth. But that's what that is. Let's drop that one back down. So again, if we look at this panel here, we want enable, we want garage, and we want close. Dead easy to operate. And quiet as well. Obviously got that alarm that's sounding just to warn anybody that's coming down, but the actual mechanism itself is virtually silent. That's very, very smooth. And then here we've got this nice fluted material on the sunbed. Seating here, of course, there's a door here that hinges across, so you can close this area right off. That one there is the control for that passerelle that I mentioned. We got stern winches here, so if you're stern to, you can put lines around there, winch yourself back in and then tie it off. There's even little rope bins here. Another interesting option on this one, as standard, it comes with a straight bench across here. The extended seating, which this one's got, turns this into a more sociable area. That's actually quite a nice option to have. Table, of course, unfolds. You can see the hinges for it there. There's also an awning that comes out of the back end of here. It's really neatly installed. You pretty much can't see where it is, but it's this one here, and that extends out to give you shade over this area if you want it. If we head on in then, I'm going to come back to this. That's quite an interesting little area. It's a galley aft layout, and it's got the drop window. You can see it here, and then that one flips over the top to make it neat. And that means this serves this area just as well as it serves that area. And again, you know, you are talking about cockpit living with this. You're talking about perhaps being in the Mediterranean. This is an area that gets used an awful lot on a boat like this. So to be able to cater directly out for that is a really nice feature. We've got glasses tucked away in there. We've got all electric cooking here. There's a dishwasher, of course, that lives in there. Love these little knurled handles that you've got about the place. Bin underneath that one, sink under there of course, and then over here just a load of storage basically. The fridge freezer is opposite thusly, and we've got the wine cooler here as well. There's a high-low TV, so that rises out for viewing from here, and the table itself is also height adjustable and folds out. But this is what I'm talking about with this boat, is this big roof here. Look at this. This is a massive opening, and it completely opens this area. Although this is a deck saloon area, it closes off. You have the doors that slide across the back as well as that window that goes up, so this whole thing can be closed up and air conditioned. It means on a nice day like today, well, you just have it like this. You just have it all open and wonderful. That's really, really good. And that is the very ethos of this boat. You're at the helm here, you've got the open roof, you've got people sat around here, they're all in the open air. Just fantastic. This, in a nice climate, would be absolutely stunning. Twin helm seats here, of course. This is interesting. This is an iPad dock. It has a Sonos system on the boat which you can operate through your phone via an app, but if you prefer you can drop an iPad into there. It actually comes with one and it's dedicated to the Sonos, so that controls all of that for you. You don't have to get your phone out all the time, or if you don't have a phone. Is there anybody left like that? This one here, control system for the boat. You can dial through all kinds of stuff on here. The AC system, there we go, AC meters. Let's get that so we can see it a little bit better. Lots of stuff on here that we can look at. Lighting is on here, navigation and so forth. And then you've got the multifunction Garmin screens up here built into this pod. That's rather nice. That looks quite sort of spacey, doesn't it, with that up like that. And talking of spacey, I love these dials here. These are rev counters, but you've got instrumentation built in to the center of them, and you can scroll through that with like a sort of iDrive style thing like this. You see how that one's changing? So you can set those up how you want, and that's via this little controller over here. We've got an opening window here, we've got an IPS joystick because it's IPS drives on this one. Engine controls are here, steering is here. There we go. Oh, they're putting the little logo that stays upright, that's nice. Bow thruster on this one as well, and these are spot air conditioning, so it gets nice cool air here if you want to. Big one-piece windscreen, look at that. But yeah, that's the big news. Turns this into a great area. Like that very much. Love these funky speakers up here as well. Right, let's go and have a look at the lower deck. Now, having said it's a sports style boat, which it is, there is nonetheless quite phenomenal accommodation down here. It is in fact a 3-cabin, 4 heads layout, would you believe? And this is nifty. The big mirror here looks like somebody else is coming down as well, but it's me and my mad socks. There we go. Let's go forward first of all. VIP guest cabin, really good size, really good headroom as well. Look at this, I'm about 6'1", 6'2", and there's a lot of space above me there. And a lot of storage as well, so for example, big wardrobe in here. Got the huge hull windows, this is storage along the top. Storage down underneath here. The round sections are opening sections, a bit of ventilation. And a really great view out. That's great, isn't it? There's a hatch in the ceiling over there. It's got sunbeds on at the moment, so we're not getting much light through that, but unless you can have those off and have that for light and ventilation. It's also an emergency route out. Some nice trick lighting about the place. More storage up here. AV equipment, of course. And a little dressing table over on this side. It's rather nice, isn't it? And that sort of folds up like that. Excellent. Ensuite on this one, natch. Again, really good size. Separate shower area, rainfall shower. Lovely. Love the finishes in here as well. Looks really, really good. So that's the VIP guest cabin. Cabin 3 is over here. A bit smaller, but again, still a really great size and still full headroom right the way through. Side-by-side beds, obviously, as you can see for yourself. And again, big storage hanging locker like that. AV equipment is in here. Little drawer down by the bed. That's a good sized cabin, isn't it? And again, a big whole window. There's a great view out. Fantastic. And this has got its own ensuite. There we go, check this out. So this is just for this room. In fact, all of these cabins have got their own individual ensuites. Nobody's sharing in this. And not only is nobody sharing, but actually if you've got day guests on board, even they're not sharing, because over here, that's what I mean about having 4 heads and 3 cabins. Day heads. Straight at the bottom of the stairs, so you come straight down, straight in. You don't need to go into any of the cabins to use that. That's brilliant. Really, really nice. And then finally, we've got the owner's cabin down here. Now this is what they refer to as the Grand Master, where the door for it is here, and then you've got this huge lobby area, dressing table area, office, whatever you want to use this for. This is a completely separate space. And then you've got obviously the cabin itself down around there. But this is great, isn't it? Look at this. Look at the space we've got here. For working from home, as we all like to do now, working from the boat to be precise, this would be perfect, and you're not using this area at all. There's also overflow fridge, tripping over my tongue today, in here. And then we can come on back, and this is the cabin proper. Look at that. Now there are options with this, and I will talk you through those in just a moment, but we'll have a look at this first. Massive space. You've got this nice little breakfast nook, or whatever you want to use that for. And again with a massive whole window. Look at this. Full of Sunseeker at the moment. There's blinds, of course, that come down over these. And again, I'm loving the detailing. I'm loving the pale wood. I'm loving these headlinings. I'm loving this lighting and these design details about the place. That all looks really, really smart. TV in here. I like these new TVs. They use them as like pictures. It looks like it's flickering a bit, but it's not. Hang on. Stand really still. Will it stop? No, it won't. Let's keep going. But yeah, they look really good. Hanging wardrobe locker, call it what you will about the place as well. So there's one there. There's a load of storage down along here, like this. And again, look at the way these are all formed and done. Absolutely beautiful, isn't it? Really, really nice. That is a big cabin. Beautiful. Ensuite is in here. And of course, biggest in the boat. It's got the big rainfall shower at that end. Tiny bit of strobing then, again, not happening in real life. Mirror wave is fitted to this one. And we've got the loo over there. And again, the window in the opening section, and the blind that drops down, and the towel rail, and all the usual accoutrements you'd expect, like this detailing in places like this. Fantastic. Let's press on a bit further. I want to tell you about this area. Another wardrobe over here. There we go. What you can have here, if you prefer, is you can have a door here and then have this as a utility area. So what you've got then is your washing machine and another fridge perhaps, and that sort of thing, and a countertop across here. So this becomes utility space in the boat. If you're spending a long time living on board, you might prefer to have that. There's a further option of a 4th cabin. What that does is it puts a corridor down here. So there this is here, this comes down like that. And it means that that section there becomes a bunk bedded 4th cabin. Obviously it's got the length for it there, and it's got the height. So, you know, that is another alternative if you want. So yeah, 4 cabin option, utility room option, or the Grand Master option that we've got here. Those are your choices for that space. Depends how you use the boat, depends what your priorities are. You know, if you've got 4 kids, you might want that 4th cabin. These traps in the floor are all engineering access, you can see, into plumbing and wiring and all that kind of stuff, so that things can be got at if necessary. This is quite freaky. You walk out here and you think, oh, the steps go up there. Wait, no they don't. They go up here. And that one there, there's a little catch down the bottom. If I undo that, put a little bit of weight on it, there we are. just a massive storage void back underneath there. You can see they've got towels and things in it at the minute, but that's a helpful little space. There we go. Let's put that back as we found it. Good. Right. Onwards. Light switches are here, air conditioning controls are here as well. Not on at the moment. This is what this boat's about though, isn't it? Brilliant. Let's press on back. More to see. Now this is very much an owner-operator size of boat. There is a small overflow cabin. But if you're looking for full crew, you're looking probably at a different sort of boat, looking at a bigger flybridge boat or something like that. So what we've got in here then, I mean, if you wanted somebody just for a couple of nights, you know, stewardess or something like that, this could be used. But it's most likely to be, as I say, a bit of an overflow. And there's something else down here, which is quite handy. Put myself in and I will show you. There we go. So this is what you've got down here. You've got a mirror with me climbing down a ladder in it. Bits of storage about the place. Little sink in there as well. And at this end there's a loo down underneath there. As I say, it's not something you want to use for a week at a time. It's just an occasional space. This ladder then slides along here. I think that's how that works. So you can get it out of the way of that. But the other thing that we've got down here then, you might have wondered where it is. There's a washing machine down here. Now again, if you had that utility room further forward that we spoke about, that's where that would be, not down here. But on this boat, with the Grandmaster layout, that's where that lives. There we go, bits of storage dotted out of the face. It's a usable little space. Perfect for, say it with me, the daughter's boyfriend. All right, let's go. Last thing to talk about then is the engine space. There we go, let's close that one up. Oh, I'll tell you what, it isn't the last thing to talk about. We've not been around the front yet, have we? And that's worth seeing actually. Let's pop my shoes back on. This is a nice, easy walk forward. There's the one step up here. We've got side boarding gates on here as well. So if alongside a key, that's another easy route on and off. But yeah, this is a really easy stroll around the boat. Up past the helm, there's that massive roof. Look at that. And then up here, what we have is this seating area and sunbathing. They've brought the moulding right the way across. You have to step into here. And the reason they've done that is to retain the aesthetics of the boat rather than having a cutaway like that one's got over there. But it's an easy step across. There's a little ScanStrut charger. That's basically USBs live underneath here, so you can plug your phone in if you want to. We've also got storage areas down here. Those little silver discs, there's one each side, are poles for a bimini. So if you want to shade this area, that you can do. And then these are lift up sections at the back here. You can see these like this. So if you want forward facing sunbathing, then you've got it. There we go. Let's come around here. Speakers up here as well for the sound system. I'll show you his little storage areas actually. They're quite nifty. There we go. So it's just for canopies or whatever else you want to keep in there, ropes, that kind of thing. Great big one-piece windscreen. Look at that. That is a chunk of glass, isn't it? And then we'll come right up here. Anchor handling kit is up here on the bow. Chain lockers down underneath that one. Those two silver discs are the buttons for the up and the down. And a little Sunseeker flag. Brilliant. There we go. That's a cool looking boat, isn't it? Let's head back down this side so we've covered everything. These little chaps here, you can see them dotted around, are for canopies. People sometimes say, well, what happens when it rains to all this upholstery? There are covers that go over it, and that's why it's got the poppers down here. So they popper down along there, they secure on these side bits, go the way around. That protects that. You don't have to take it on and off every time. That would be a nuisance. You can do. If you're leaving the boat for the winter, you might choose to take it off, but normally you wouldn't bother. We'll stop and look at that again and then we'll carry on. Look at this glazing on the side. That's why these boats are so light and bright. I like the Sunseeker logo built into the scupper there, so that allows the water to drain into there and off rather than running right down the side and through the cockpit. Then we can come right on back here. Those rope lockers again, we mentioned those earlier, on both sides, and the winches. And then there's another door here which I'm going to close across if I can. Yeah, there we go. I see how that works. You have to lift it. Cup holders either side of the sunbed, and then this one here, engine access. And I have to hope the lights are on because I forgot to check. Right, I'm sure we'll manage. Okay, lights are not on, but they are. I'll push the switch. There we are. Brilliant. See? Getting the hang of this, aren't I? So engines in here, IPS as I mentioned, they're the IPS 1350s and they're down here underneath the tender garage. There we go, IPS 1350. A lot of boat show detritus in here at the minute, as you can see. These are 1,000 horsepower each. So a fair old bit of shove in this boat, and it's giving it a top speed, therefore, of about 35 knots. So it's got the performance to go with the looks. You're looking at a cruising speed, therefore 25 to 30 is probably the most comfortable. As I say, a lot of boat show stuff, sorry about that. And at 10 knots you're looking at about a 750 mile range. Other things down here is the Seakeeper. That's that chap just up there. A lot of the electrics are down here as well, and the generator lives up. You can see finger of doom, that little chap up there in the corner. So yeah, it's a compact space because of the tender garage and that flat floor that we mentioned, but it pays dividends in terms of the usability. Brilliant. That, I think, is a fairly comprehensive tour. Load of circuit breakers here. Look at this, all in these cabinets. Lighting here. Light switch I found. Here. Let's turn it back off. Leave it as we found it. Good. Let's come back out of here. There we are. Pop that one back down. Close that over. And that, I think, is a fairly comprehensive tour of a Sunseeker Predator 65. Let's come right up to the bow. A lot of Sunseekerness going on here, isn't there? Fantastic. Massive thanks to Sunseeker International for organising that one. Massive thanks to you guys for watching it. Let me know what you think of that in the comments. And we'll catch you on one of these real soon. Take care. Bye-bye.